Alright guys, take 7 on this. So, I already did my Supernatural review. I already posted the same day I was filming this, which is Saturday. And I'll be uploading this Sunday, which will be the day I actually uploaded. So, let's get on talking about the Charm reviews. Charm episode, shall we? So, we see the sisters in one room and they are just talking about Jordan, or at least Maggie is. Maggie mentions that Jordan is looking at her or can't stop looking at her. Then Mel says Jordan's doing that because you're doing it too. And Maggie mentions like so much that in 2 hours Jordan will be 26, and she mentions the curse. And then Macy gets a text. Maggie's like, Harry? And then Macy's like doing this expression that she knew it's not Harry. She leaves the room. Maggie's like, she's being sneaky, or she's being sneaky much, or something like that. And then Mel and Maggie both notice that their dad is in their work getting like coffee or something, and Maggie's hoping that he's not gonna expose them, that they're alive, and out of nowhere the assassin will come get them. But then Mel's like, I'll handle it. She goes handle Ray, which is what she calls him instead of Dad. But before she does that, Maggie has a premonition, or after Mel left, she has a premonition that this sign on the wall is gonna break and fall onto Jordan and leaving him unconscious or dead. And she sees that it's happening, and before it can even land on Jordan, she runs to Jordan, and she finally saves him in time, which was really great. Her and Swan helps pick him up, and he asks how do you know or something, and then she's like, lucky coincidence or something. And then we see Macy at the stairs looking at her phone with the text message from Julian saying, wishing you were here, or she asked Julian where he was. He sends her a picture of him with a sign saying Aspen, Colorado. Then he says, wishing you were here. Then he sends her a text of the link of the ticket he got her, or supposedly got her. She laughs softly, and then right while she's laughing, Harry comes down like smirking a little bit, being like a little bit close to her, saying what's going on. She's like, oh, it's just Julian, I'm just keeping him busy. And while they were in their little bubble for a little while, Abigail happens to come into the building saying Harry, and she has red puffy eyes. And so while Mel is dealing with Ray and Maggie dealing with Jordan, Macy and Harry is helping with Abigail, and Harry's like, I'm here, it's okay. And Macy does this expression, and Harry's like, are you okay to go home, or do you need me to escort you home? And Macy's like, asking her to like go into the corner to talk about it. He's like, even though we still need her, and Macy's like, I'm not letting you go alone, I'm gonna go with you. He's like, I always remember that I was the one always protecting you. And she's like, well, now we're protecting each other. And he sort of shows his face like he's happy that she's coming. So they go to her apartment or condo, and Abigail's just laying down, not helping Macy figure out what happened to her and whatnot. And then Abigail's like, be careful of that, that's my scotch, that's my favorite. And Harry comes in the room, but before Abigail talks to Harry, Macy's like, can I use your bathroom, or where's the bathroom? And she's like, what's mine is yours. And she says near the foyer or something. And when Harry comes in, Abigail's like, Harry, can you make me tea? So while he does that, and they talk. Macy goes up the stairs, and she notices like dust or something coming out of this like closet. She opens that while the two are distracted, and she sees the syringe, and then we see Harry and Abigail talking about does any demon wanted to come in and get any of the things she possesses, and then Abby ends up flirting with him when it wasn't necessary, saying that I like it when they take what she possesses and stuff. And Harry's like, Abigail or something. And then Macy finally goes downstairs and says, Harry, can we talk for a moment? And he's like, yeah, sure. Or no, she's like, Harry, can I talk to Abigail for a second? So Harry goes on to his business. While they're talking, Macy confronts her about the syringe, and she finally admits it. And then she's like, Harry's a good guy. He doesn't need you to manipulate him to thinking you need help from him and stuff, and that he's not your type. And I'm protecting him, and I'm gonna protect him from getting hurt by you. And Abigail mentions that sometimes being a good guy is interesting or something. And finally then Abigail mentions that Harry needed to be with someone who like shows him that they care about him being good and stuff. And then Macy goes off to talk to Harry. But while they're doing that, before they did that, you see Maggie and Jordan talking about the curse while he's cleaning up. And he happens to mention that he saw something on the internet that she's dead, and that even on social media. And Maggie happens to wanting to explain it, but Jordan's like, it's okay, I understand and stuff. So while they're doing that, they feel cold. Jordan tells her that he'll just go adjust the thermostat, and while he's doing that, it gets colder downstairs, and Maggie happens to like walk to her office or one of the offices, and she sees that there's like sort of icy steam on the window, and then she sees something being written on the window saying he's mine. And then she looks the other way, and she sees this ghost with like burn marks on her face, and she's like, Jordan. And then after that, it shows that while she runs, the ghost is chasing her. And then she goes to, but then she falls, but then the ghost passes her to go to Jordan. And Maggie wants him to catch Shop, trying to look for like Hawthorne or something to trap him. And right before the ghost could even touch or kill Jordan, Maggie finally traps it, and she tries to like ask the ghost to not hurt Jordan and stuff, and the ghost didn't want to. And right when she like bang on the mirror, they both notice that it's gonna break soon. And so Maggie leaves the room and trying to find another way to prevent the ghost from hurting Jordan. Sorry, my nose is itchy. And she goes by the stairs and tells Jordan to go to her right now. And right when Jordan was about to, or sort of gonna do that, the ghost like drags him or pushes him across the room, and then finally, but then out of nowhere, the ghost possesses Swan, and right when um, Maggie got up there, the ghost ends up doing the exorcist thing with Swan's neck, and she's like, "Who's the bad witch now?" And Maggie does this with her stick and runs towards the ghost, and they fight, and then out of nowhere, Maggie makes zombie Swan go on the ground, and she goes to Jordan, and then Jordan talks about Swan, but then they leave the room. And then the ghost gets back up, but does this jaw cracking thing, which was really scary. And then we see Mel and her dad in the command center talking about that, about something, and Mel does put like black amber in this like potion bottle, and when she walks away from it, she doesn't notice that her dad took it and said and told her dad to tell the buyers that they'll be there in an hour. He's like, in an hour, doesn't an airplane ride take longer than that? She's like, no, we got the portal. And then he gets like a little nervous about the portal, and they go through the portal, and then we see Macy and Harry talking about the syringe and stuff, saying that Abigail probably dosed herself just so that he can come to her rescue, and he's like, even though and stuff, and we still need her. And then Macy happens to mention the kiss, which finally, she's like, Harry, I saw the kiss and whatnot, and Harry tries to say that was just in the moment, and Macy's like, still, we can't trust her and stuff, she's manipulating you and whatnot. And she's like, it's either we help her or go home. Harry's like, yeah, of course, we need to go home. And right when Macy was halfway almost going downstairs, she stops and looks at him, and she's like, and then Harry's like, I need to talk to Abigail. So he goes down to Abigail and said, Abigail, you and me can never happen because you're a demon. And then she expresses that she's half demon, but she's also half rich, and it's true about the rich part. She puts her hand on Harry's cheek, and he was like sort of like air holding her hand or touching her hand, and right before one of them could say anything, Macy comes down saying Maggie or Mel texted her that they need to go to the command center now or to safe space to help them. And Mel and Maggie finally comes out of the command center trying to like look out for zombie Swan, and right when they were almost reaching to like the area, Macy and Harry finally orbs in and scares the two, and they mentioned that, and Maggie got them up to speed about what happened. And so Mel and Maggie went their separate ways. Harry and Maggie, I already just said it already. Harry and Macy goes together, but then while Mel is like in like the kitchen area, the ghost ends up like swishing past her. Then out of nowhere, got Maggie, and Mel's like, guys, so they run to Maggie, and they see that the ghost is holding Maggie by the neck, and Maggie's trying to plead to the ghost, saying to let go of Jordan. He's a good man, he'll never hurt anyone. And the ghost said, that's why I gotta kill him before he does. And Maggie happens to have Jordan's ring, saying he wanted you to have this. And the ghost takes it when she sees it, and she's like, my ring, I'm ready now. And the sister does a spell to help her move on, but before she does, Maggie, or the witch, like, ending a curse is not that easy, and Maggie asks what does Jordan have to do to make it right, and she whispers it to her, and she leaves. And so the four render ways, Maggie talks to Jordan and tells him the only way he can make it right to balance the justice or something. And he asked, can witches and humans fraternize? She said yes, or she explained it that they can, but it never works out. Jordan mentions, but can it work out for friends? And she's like, yeah. And sorry, my nose is so itchy. Oh my god. So they did that, and but then Mel and Ray talks about what happened and stuff, and Ray tells Mel to take care of her sister, and that it's better if he leaves to keep them safe. But before that, he mentions that the girl's mom has always had a heart for someone else, then Ray mentions that the girl's mom always had her heart for someone else, which was Macy and Maggie's dad, which is Maggie's real dad. And he leaves after saying goodbye. Then we see Macy and Harry in the command center, and Macy was just texting you with Julian, and I think Harry happened to see that, and Harry's like, I'm gonna go now, or he said, I'm gonna go to Abigail's, and she's like, why? And he's like, we needed her help with something, and we just left abruptly, and they talk about that. She's like, why do you have to go back? She's just gonna manipulate you, and I don't want you to get hurt. And finally he ends up talking about it and said that, you know what, you know that I have feelings for you, and you never want to talk about it or something like that. And she just stands there feeling hurt without trying to say anything, while Harry's like, you should, he mentions Julian, and he's like, Julian likes you and stuff, and she's like, I'm just helping to keep him busy so he won't have to tear down a command center, and I can't help it if he likes me. And then Harry happens to say, you should be with someone, or you should be with someone who your heart desires and stuff. And Macy was just left there hurt, and she's in tears, and Harry just leaves, and Macy touches Julian, saying still want company, and she goes to like this like thing that's like a mouse pad sort of kind of way. She moves it to the vision board or something and puts it in Aspen, Colorado. She is, in that moment, she's thinking whether or not to press it to go, but then she eventually does. But then we don't know she actually did rent until the next episode next week or this week. And after that, we see one of the buyers that the dad was, and she gets one of her scientists, the Black Amber, that she took from Ray, and they brought back this like mouse back alive. but with powers, and she's like, the guy was like, he's alive or something, and this lady Nadia who knows Ray said no, it's magic. So the episode ends there. So, but that's really mind blowing me. Like, hopefully, because in the promo for next week's episode or this week's episode, I saw that Harry and Mel were just talking in the command center, and then Harry happened to go on unconscious, and she's like, Harry, and then it shows Macy saying what happened and stuff, and she's like, you called her, which she means Abigail, and she's like, I didn't have no one else to call, and I just called her, and Abigail is holding the syringe, and the three are hoping that this whatever that's in the syringe will help Harry, but then Harry is like, something happened to Harry, and Macy's like, what did you do? So hopefully in the next episode explain more on that, and to explain what Ray's doing, or sort of, if they were going to mention that, and to explain and to backstory more on the girls and Abigail working to help save Harry. So hopefully we get to see more of that, and hopefully we get to see Jordan in that episode too, because honestly he deserves to be in more episodes too. And hopefully we get an episode where Harry and Macy hash out everything they need to talk about that they haven't talked about since Macy got rescued and came back, and after Macy catching Harry and Abigail kissing. So hopefully we get to see that. And yeah, so that wraps up today's video. I hope you guys love it as much as I did, and to make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to always be notified when the weekly videos come out, because they would be coming out weekly. And comment down below what kind of video I should do next, or sit down talks I should do next. Or you can, ask me questions you're curious to know about and whatnot, and I'll answer them, do a video on them, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.